Hey guys, welcome back to another tier list video. Of course, it's another Walking Dead one, this time Season 8, the war season, so you get to see a lot of everyone's combat ability and experience in this one. So hopefully it's a little bit easier to categorize these guys. I mean, a lot of them are going to be the same from last season, you know. Season 7 and Season 8 kind of, in my mind, run together for most part, so we'll go ahead and get some of these simple ones out of the way. Like, you know who number one is. You know, his survival experience doesn't really change too much throughout the whole show because he starts at like fucking 100% survival capability. So yeah, Daryl. Yep. And then Rick. Yes, of course, Daryl and Rick, just like that, always the top two. So next, who do you think would be next? So I usually put Michonne up there as third place, but Carol, honestly, this season, I mean, she fucking demolishes people. She's a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, I mean, Michonne can survive. She's fucking like a samurai. Good melee fighter. Not really that great with a gun, but I might have to put Carol as number 3 now, because, I mean, she just wreaks havoc, man. She gets way more fucking kills. Michonne's probably better at fighting zombies, which, you know, is really good in the zombie apocalypse too, but Carol, she wipes the floor with the saviors. Michonne will go after her, you know, and who's more dangerous in the zombie apocalypse, zombies or other people, you know? Gotta keep that in consideration too. Rosita, useful as always. Eugene is more useful. I mean, you get to see him actually craft bullets, and he's the reason why Rick's group wins in the end. To be honest, he's MVP of the whole war. If he had more combat experience and better, then he would be a true survivor. So you'll probably see him get up there in a future season. But right now, he's still peak useful. Maggie, she's a good leader. I don't know if she's a better leader than Rick at this point. They both go down a dark path this season, but you know, I don't know if that really makes their survival capability go down anymore. I think Maggie's gonna be right here. And of course, you know, all the usual shit. She's a farmer, she's a good fighter, all that good stuff. So true survivor. Tara, average, or at least from season 4 to now, she's been pretty stagnant. You don't get too much development. Morgan, he will be a true survivor, even though he does go a little batshit crazy this season. I mean, he's a good fighter, you know, he can survive on his own, which is the top leading contenders for a true survivor. He's also really fucking crazy, so I'm gonna have to keep him at the bottom of true survivor just because of that, because you never know. I mean, he sees dead kids in the woods, you know, you never know when he's just gonna accidentally turn on you because he's hallucinating. He's a wild card, not great to have. We're just gonna keep him right there. We'll go ahead and start with the Kingdom group. Henry, little Henry, he was Deadweight last season. He actually does put in some work. You know, he learns a little bit of the stick, which is pretty nice. That's more than Carl could do at his age. And he kills somebody. He actually does kill somebody. He gets a sneak attack on him. Kills a savior. So I'm going to have to put him in almost decent. Gregory's still Deadweight. Very much so. I mean, he doesn't change at all, man. If anything, he gets worse. Gets more slimy as the show goes on. We're going to continue with these side groups like the Kingdom. This chick, Nebula, she ends up getting with Jerry at some point, but at this point, she's like a caretaker of the Kingdom. She does help out. I don't know if I'd call her Deadweight. End of almost decent. She does actually help let the Kingdom survive fighting the saviors. That's more than Gregory ever does. Diane, the arrow girl, very useful. Having a bow is always really nice. Definitely something you want to have in the zombie apocalypse. This guy, the doctor, Dr. Carver, I think. I'm going to have to put him in average. He might not have, you know, good combat experience or anything like that, but as I say before, you know, being a doctor takes you a long way. I mean, it's one of the best traits to have. Your survivability goes up a lot more if you have this guy on your team. So just because of that, he's average. Okay, and Jesus. Jesus is a true survivor. I'm going to put him above Morgan at this point because Morgan is really fucking crazy. And it's really debatable if he could go up higher. I'm just going to put him back here just because we haven't seen him actually survive out in the wilderness on his own, so we don't know how he'd do. I personally think he'd probably be not too bad, but we don't really know. He's always with the group. And these characters, we've seen them out on the road. Enid, useful. She doesn't really change at all. She does kill somebody this season. She kills that old lady at Oceanside, which almost started a whole fucking another front of the war, but I'll put her there just because of her pure survivability, which is pretty decent, but that's the only stat she's got going for her. Oh yeah, and this chick, semi-leader of Oceanside, Sydney. I mean, she's average, I guess. There's not really much I can say about her. What does she do? I mean, I know at the end they make like Molotov cocktails and shit, so. Next up is Scott. Scott is average too. I mean, he goes on runs and shit, so that immediately puts him above her. He doesn't get too many lines, honestly. But he's just there, man. He's just there like the entire time. I'm not sure when he leaves, but he doesn't die. We don't see this guy die. He just lives on. Average. Tobin dies this season. Whenever the Saviors come in with the fucking gunked up weapons, he gets hit, turns into a zombie. Almost decent. He pretty much stayed right here his entire run of the shows. Next up, we got Sherry. I don't even remember if she was in this season. I might have fucked up by having her here. I think she left in season 7. I'm gonna put her like at the end of almost decent. And then Aaron, useful as always. He's getting better with combat. He's a runner. Put him there. I'd rather have him on the team than Rosita, to be honest. He knows what he's doing out there. Rosita's good in a team, but I don't think she'd be able to be too good on her own outside. Maybe. I mean, maybe she could. And although Eugene definitely could not be on his own out there, his smarts and all the shit he can do goes in his favor. So next up, we got the dumpster lady. All of her fucking people die. I mean, you gotta give her credit. She fucking walks around that dumpster landfill barefoot and naked sometimes. I mean, you gotta be some kind of survivor to do that shit. It's a miracle she survived this long, and her people, up until, you know, they got massacred, but they didn't really put up too much of a fight either. And they're slimy as hell. You never really know with Jadis what she's up to. Put her useful last time, but she kind of had her people going with her this time. Now she's just kind of, yeah, I don't really know what she does this season. I'll put her in average, probably above Tara. All right, now we're getting to the real meat and potatoes of this. These characters are more debatable. We'll start with some of the new ones, like this guy, Alden. Yeah, Alden, he's a savior. We don't see much of him this season, except he's nicer than the rest of the saviors, you know. He's more level-headed. I'm gonna have to put an average. He knows how to fire a gun, and he knows when he's lost, you know. He's not gonna try and do some stupid shit. Put him after Tara, just because Tara, we have seen her in more combat scenarios. Jerry, we'll go and put Jerry at fucking useful. This dude, somehow he stayed chunky in the zombie apocalypse, which isn't an easy task on its own. If you are at this point and you can still cut someone in half with an axe, I'd say that's pretty useful. I swear, man, Enid's ability to just survive, just from that one scene, is gonna carry her through the show. You know, just her eating turtles. I don't know how well Jerry would survive out there, but he's a tank class with a battle axe, so that sounds pretty good to me. Morales, he shows up for like not even an episode, like maybe 3 minutes of screen time, just to point a gun at Rick and get jumped by Daryl. So he like immediately died. No last words. Man, sorry Morales, you came back just to be almost decent. I guess he said he was living on his own for a while. He obviously knows how to shoot a gun, I guess. Sorry Morales, that is your fate. Almost decent. Honestly, no, I don't remember what I put him for season 1, but I'll put him up here, okay? I'll put him above Sydney, because, I mean, he's a soldier at this point, I guess, even though he doesn't get any kills on screen. But I can't do him like that. I can't. He was probably almost decent last time. He's had to have gotten a little bit better. Come on. Next up, we'll do Eric. He dies this season. He gets shot, but he does get a kill before he dies. I'm gonna have to put him at almost top tier, almost decent, okay? That's the best he's got. I mean, before he's stayed behind Tobin this whole time, but since he got an actual kill before he died, hey, I mean, that's gotta count for something, right? And this guy, this fucking rat-faced motherfucker, bottom almost decent. He doesn't really know how to fight. He's just a shithead. He's debatably dead weight, but since he is a savior, you know, he's one of the combat saviors. He's another gun to have around. Georgie, we really don't see her do shit. I'm gonna have to put her in dead weight. Above Gregory, I mean, I doubt she has any combat experience. All she is knowledge, which is good, but she's not necessarily the person that holds that knowledge. She just has the books, you know, she hands them out. She's not like Eugene that has all that shit ready to go in her brain. At least from what we see. I mean, we only see her for like, same thing with Morales, like 3 minutes at most. That sounds pretty good to me. Deadweight. All right, most of these are saviors, so we'll go ahead and get the rest of them that aren't saviors out of the way, like Ezekiel. Ezekiel gets a little bit more level-headed this season, kinda. I mean, after he goes through a big depression, he loses a lot of his people and his tiger. That tiger was holding him up, you know, in the ranks single-handedly, pretty much. Ezekiel honestly kind of goes down this season. I mean, he was very useful last time. He is a leader. I'll keep him in useful, but I think Jerry at this point is better than him. And he also did kind of sacrifice himself, even though he didn't die. So, I mean, he did. Okay, he saved the kingdom. I'll put him there. And that also reminds me of something Morgan did where he ripped that dude's intestines out. That's pretty baller, not gonna lie, but that's still pretty insane of him. So because of that move alone, I don't know whether to put him above Jesus or not. Very much up for debate. Gabriel, you know, tries to break the doctor out of the sanctuary. He fails, but he did it almost blind, which, you know, this season he is very blind. I think that's going to have to take him down. He's going to have to go less average, bottom average, just because his blindness is holding him back this season. But blindness is a hell of a fucking handicap, man. So next up, we got Sadiq, his first season. Honestly, he do be surviving on his own out there. I don't know for how long. And he is a doctor. He is a doctor. So I'm going to have to put him like right here. Honestly, he does have somewhat of a survival skill and a doctor. He does kill zombies. I guess this leads into Carl, huh? I wish I could put him high. This is his last season. This is where Carl dies. You know, in his last moments, he takes on the saviors head on, which is very brave of him to do, pretty much sacrificing himself for everyone else to escape. But if it was just that, he would probably be useful. That would probably be where his journey ends. But here's the thing. He fucking got bit. He got murdered by 2 zombies. By fucking 2 zombies. And no true survivor is gonna lose to just, you know, fighting 2 zombies. I mean, what the fuck? You know, I get it. They had to kill you. But why couldn't you go out harder, man? You know, like fighting a shit ton of them. You know, like Tyrese in that one episode. I'm sorry, Carl. I'll put him in bottom tier useful. You know, I mean, if it wasn't for the way he went out, he'd probably be a lot higher, you know, probably around like, maybe like Aaron Rosita level, at least above Sadiq. But Sadiq actually took on a few zombies, more than 2, and came out uninjured while Carl fought 2 of them. Rip Carl. Bottom tier useful. Next up is just the saviors, alright? We'll crack these guys out pretty fast. Laura, average, like last time. She hasn't really changed too much. Probably better than Tara. A rat too. I mean, she's more unhinged. I feel like I'd rather have these guys on my team than a rat. Simon too. He dies this season. Fist fight with Negan. He gets some good blows in, but Negan still prevails, you know. I'll put him below her just because they probably have the same kind of skill set as far as weaponry and fighting and shit. He's probably better at a fist fight, to be honest. I'll put Simon above her just because if it was a fist fight, I hate to say it, but he'd probably beat her ass. Gavin, one of the leaders of the sanctuary that is actually level-headed. All the saviors, you don't really see them survive. It's all the same kind of abilities going on. You just kind of got to rank them on how stable they are. But I think Simon could beat his ass, so put him there. I mean, Simon does have strategic abilities. He was plotting this whole season and almost got away with his plots, but Negan still was better than him. Dwight, he's playing 2 sides, so that's not easy. I'll put Dwight up here, probably above. I mean, he is a bowman. Keep that in consideration. If Diana was in the same position that he was in, I don't think she would be able to keep as much cool. But who knows? I mean, I'm not a Diana expert. I don't really know her character too well, other than what we've seen, which isn't too much. And then last but not least, Negan. He's about the same as last season. I mean, he knows how to survive a horde of zombies. He knows the guts trick. He beats the fuck out of Simon, so that at least makes him better than him. And he's a leader. I mean, Negan is very useful, I would say. I'll keep him there, like last time. Right behind Eugene. That sounds pretty good. Alright, well, this is Season 8. Walking Dead Power Levels tier list. Let me know if you agree or if you strongly disagree with my decision, which most of you probably do. But I'll be back for Season 9. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Have a nasty night. Peace out.